All right, there we go. About that time. Hey guys, how we doing? You might
Hey
be
Jakey.
muted.
Hey Kevin.
Hey there, Rexy.
Looking good.
How we doing, Kevin?
Doing good.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah. Long time no see, Kevin.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like I haven't seen you in days, right?
Yeah, in days. So
Yeah, Rex
Yeah.
told me that you guys chatted, and I was like, dude, that would be a fun guy to have on the transmission because it's been a minute. So,
It has been a minute.
dude, everything just clicks and goes by so dang quick these days. It's just like a blur, you know? So, nuts, absolutely nuts. Well, let me get a few things out of the way. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Karmic transmission number 37 today, guys, is where we're at. You believe that? 37 of them. Like I said, moving quick. So with us tonight, we've got Kevin Steele and Rexy Boy. Ayame should be with us here in a little bit. Clint, he couldn't make it. He's actually got some work that he's doing. He found some side work to kind of keep himself busy through the days, and it ran long. So he's out earning the big bucks and keeping things moving, but we'll miss him anyway. But, you know, we got a good replacement, that being the little brother down there in the corner looking all sheepish for some reason. Like he's like,
I'm up here in this corner in my viewpoint.
Yeah, up here, you're down there.
So.
But so yeah, here we are. As always, guys, you can find us at karmaincarnate.com is the best place to find us. Take a look, see what we're all about. And if you're feeling froggy, join, take the challenge for yourself and start being an impact or positive influence in your community right here with us. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all the social medias, all that kind of jive. I hear that we even have an Instagram, according to Ayame. She tells me we do. It's social media. It's a hard one for me.
You don't Insta the gram?
The Insta to the gram, that's right. But so take a look at us, guys. But again, as always, get in touch with any of our agents, any of our people, and find out what we're all about, because we're all about making a positive impact here in our communities and seeing, being the change that we want to see in the world, right? That's what the idea of karma is all about. So anyway, Kevin, I hear that you're taking some time off, you said in your message, which was awesome. I'm glad you could squeeze us in during your downtime.
Downtime with plans and not plans and the best laid plans and and who knows. Honestly, it's 2 weeks without work, which is kind of what I need.
Yeah.
I don't need to worry about coming back to a mess or coming into a mess. I don't know what I'm coming into. It's going to be new and fresh and with the group that I'm really excited for, but I'm also know nothing about. Really don't,
Yeah.
You only see the outside veneer.
Right.
We'll get dirty soon enough, but I'm really excited for it.
Well, dude, having that fresh perspective sometimes and a take on something new is really refreshing. It's something to kickstart those creative juices, if you will, and kind of get you moving again. Because it's, after a while doing the same thing. And Rex, I know is that my background or your background? Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if our mom was talking to Rex from the other room, because that'll happen from time to time.
Oh no, that was the Google Home with the broadcast message for a kid.
Gotcha.
You need to go see mom.
We talk about it with Rex about, you always kind of, one cool thing about his driving is he's at least always gets to see the seasons change and how much different it gets to be. When you're stuck in an office, it gets a little bit harder, and sometimes it takes a switch of office or a new building or something to kind of get that same little
change scenery.
Yeah, exactly. So hey there, Ayame, how you doing there, my friend? Maybe.
There's a mute button. I've learned this over time.
He's caught on by now, which is impressive.
Push the mute button, makes it so people can hear me.
What's worse is when somebody's using a headset and they've got mute button on the program and mute on the headset.
Yeah.
And they turn one off and they think everything's working. And no, you're double muted.
Oh yeah, I've done that with plenty, more than my fair share. It was always kind of a blessing sometimes if you were out of sync for just a minute and try to figure something out. It was always kind of that nice backup. But yeah, when you forget about it, it could always be a pain. So
so I was just under 10 years in that last company.
And so everybody can kind of get caught up. What exactly did you do with these guys? And what are you moving into?
Okay, so they did disaster recovery software. So you back up your computers, tornado sweeps through, and we've got software and systems and everything to get you back up and running. I managed their international support. So I managed all the support teams outside of the US, and my partner managed the US teams. That was over 10 years. I actually moved into that position, but that was the last thing I did, was managing international support teams. And now I'm going to be managing the global support team for a new company called Learn Upon. And they do, it's called learning management systems. It's the infrastructure. So if you go into LinkedIn, actually has a LinkedIn learning location where you go in and they've got all these videos and things you can learn about.
Yeah, training modules and
also, exactly. Learn Upon is the structure that like LinkedIn Learning would be based on. And they're not a client of ours, but it's just kind of the idea is like the software structure that they use so that everything looks the same, all the things feel the same, except for the content being given. That back-end infrastructure is what we provide to customers.
Okay.
And, there's a lot of companies that do this. There's a big one here in Utah called Instructure. But the thing that it has me really excited is Learn Upon's approach is customer service first. Most people think you provide a learning management system and you don't really need customer service because it speaks for itself. The reality is customer service isn't just break fix. It's about giving an experience so that people can easily get in there, access, feel like we're doing everything we can to help them. It's the kind of service that keeps customers, that keeps bringing people back to your doorstep. And their perspective is that should be first. You put the customer experience first, and then you can improve the product and everything as it goes. You need to be listening to the customers. And on that note, because I'm leaving my old job, I'm having to go through the process of transitioning technology and other things off, like my cell phone.
Yeah.
And the company was nice enough to give me my mobile number because I've had it for 10 years and I figure they probably don't want somebody calling, somebody getting all my phone calls.
Yeah.
So they gave me my number and we went over to Verizon. We were looking at number places, went to the Verizon store. And there's one person in there and there's other people coming in behind us. And it just felt like there was a lot of pressure, no one to take it. And he was just like, here's a sheet of paper. Here are options. This is what option means, blah. And it was like, it wasn't necessarily like pulling teeth, but it just wasn't comfortable. It's like, it's not like he didn't want to help us. He just didn't have any incentive.
No interest in helping you.
And so then we went right down the way to the T-Mobile store. And we got there at a great time because right after we got in, people just came in through the back and it was like one of those, okay, we just have to get it done. And we were there for a lot longer than we expected, but we had one person who was with us the whole time and she was helping us and she got on the phone with people and she's trying to solve the problems. And because we're going from my wife and Jer's phones, my phone, getting that all wrapped up under T-Mobile and adding 2 more lines so that our kids can have phones. Now they don't need anything special. We didn't get anything special. We just got a basic phone because they're 13 and 16. And at this age, we want to be able to say to reach them or to be, to be able to go out with somebody and say, hey, we're going to be home late. And to do that, we need to be able to pick up the phone and call them. And knowing that all the kids have that, they've got access to basic data. So if they get lost somewhere, they can
get a map home.
They can get a map home. They know how to get there. It's not the end of the world. And so for us, it was finally that time. Give them, what do you call it? I want to say a phone home. but just like a lifeline. That's what it is. I
Okay.
wanted to give them a lifeline.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so it was just like, it was this really complex dance, and she did amazing. And there were times where it was kind of like panicking, what is it, anxiety inducing, because there were lots of people coming in and other things happening, and I'm trying to get this sorted, and Jer and Kayleen are trying to get their number information sorted, and they're giving them their mobile providers giving them the wrong number. So it's like all these things that are just messy and life are hitting us, and it's not even phasing her. She's just like, okay, here, let me help. Okay, so what I need you, if you can do this, I'll do this. I'll be on the phone call with this person. And she did an
Hey,
amazing
Ame.
job.
Hey, there we go.
Good
So
to see you, my friend.
It's that idea of just kind of coolness under pressure, and how do we reach out and how do we make an impact on people
Mhm.
just by our demeanor and keeping our calm.
My mom
Dude,
just
no,
said something.
you're absolutely right, because it is, that's my
That's
experience.
right, Mom.
You know, the whole thing, everything with that job of mine is customer experience all the way around, because it's, people stick with you when you go the extra mile and they see that there's vested interest in there with everybody. It's
Oh, yeah.
it's more, it's worth it. You know, people stick around for stuff like that. So yeah. And my mom nailed it right there, talking about how, like you said, that lifeline, your kids having a phone. I remember when we were in high school and cell phones were kind of becoming the popular thing. I think everybody remembers their Nokia,
Yeah.
what were they, 2100s and stuff like that, you know, playing Snake on them and everything else back in the day. But that was such a huge change societally for everyone to have that ability to just communicate so quickly. And nowadays, it's not even a phone. You've got literally a magic lamp in your pocket that can bring you anything you could ever want, you know?
If we could have done one of the little flip phones with just, we would have done that. But they
I
didn't
know.
exist. So
It's insane. Our dad special orders his flip phones from the company because that's the only way that he can get it. You can't go into a store and get a flip phone, and he wants nothing to do with anything more complex than a flip phone, to be honest with you.
and you know, that works for some people.
It does. And I just love the fact that I can still get a hold of my dad. That's the great part, you know?
Yeah.
So, because it is, it's an amazing thing what this technology and the connectedness that it does bring. So, but dude, that's really cool. And you're right on, because that customer experience is such an important aspect of it. And it's such a humanizing part of business that people tend to forget about. It's like you said, it's making connections and building relationships, and it's a whole lot more than just, you know, that guy in the store. Hey, okay, here's our list of plans. You come tell me what you want, and we'll fill out the paperwork. We're done. You know, it's hard to want to interact with people in that way.
Well,
So.
with the complexity of what we were looking for, it just wasn't.
Yeah.
I needed somebody who'd be like, oh, well, have you thought of how would this impact if we did?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's just like, so, you know, here's something I don't admit to most people. Up until this opportunity that came up in front of me, I have not had to actively look for a job in over 20 years. I did the math.
Yeah.
So I served an LDS mission in 2000, came back, and my brother got me a job working for a company. And then that company was providing service for another company. They were outsourcing their work. That company hired me on directly. And then somebody found me on the internet in Houston and called me up and said, hey, I'm wondering if you're interested in a job. And so took me and my family out to Houston, and we were there for 6 years. And then another friend of my brother's says, hey, I've got a job. Would you be interested? That took us back to Utah, and I was there. And that company, they ended up doing the layoff routine, and they were doing it almost quarterly. And they fired a bunch of my friends who went to work for the company I just left. And those friends pulled me over. So literally like 20 years of just kind of moving from job to job, and I'm really grateful for it. But I never realized how difficult it truly was. And especially now with everything changing, it is in my line of work, and Jake, I'm sure you've experienced this as well, it is exponentially more difficult, even because there's a lot of the jobs, but there's also such a high demand right now.
Yeah.
The term I heard was the great migration. And so my company was going through a merger, and I knew about this a year ago. And I looked for a job for 8 months.
Mhm.
And I mean, literally thousand plus resumes, a few hundred talks with recruiters, less than dozens of interviews. And then this company reached out to me.
Mhm.
So that was the funny thing, is I didn't even know about them. They came to me. And the whole reason I'm saying is, like, it was kind of like I had to go through this grind, and it was depressing to just go after job after job after job, and then just be like, yeah, no thanks, no thanks, no thanks, no thanks. And I have these people, and every person I met, I just felt like it wasn't an interview, it was a conversation.
Mhm.
And we talked about how we would go about doing different things, managing people and helping people improve. And really what I loved is that their attitude was about treating each other as human beings. Yes, you're the manager, you're the boss, but your job is to help these people be successful, not to micromanage them into oblivion.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, this is how I work. I love this. I felt so comfortable. So they go through these interviews, and the last one I'm having with the CEO, and then this company's in Dublin. So I'm talking to this guy, thick Dublin accent, and only from working with Irish people for so long do I understand him. And halfway through the interview, he looks off to the side and goes, waves, and then he realizes he's doing it while he's on a call.
Right.
He goes, oh, sorry, my daughter comes home from preschool every day, and she comes to the garden window and she waves at me. And this is our COVID habit, thing that we do. And so he then picks up his laptop, turns it around, and shows me this little redhead girl waving at her dad through the window. And executives are people too, but this is one of the first few times in a while where I've seen an executive behave like another human being and be open about who he is, and just his fan share kind of this family experience with him. And just like, I'm thinking, okay, this is a company that I feel like, I mean, I've got big work in front of me, taking care of the people and helping them scale, but I'm going to be working with people who actually care about people.
Yeah.
And it goes to a Richard Branson, well, an often quoted Richard Branson saying of, if you take care of the employees will take care of the customers, and the customer, and that takes care of your business. And so I'm really excited to be going there. But it's this idea of taking care of people that's attracted me, that's kept us doing Karma for 6 years.
Mhm.
Six years.
Yeah.
And, don't get me wrong, none of us beat Rex, but that idea of everything we do. So even though we hit hibernation to a certain extent during COVID and everything, that didn't change the Karma payments. That didn't change the fact that while we didn't have stickering events and things like that, that you guys still got together every month, got the food, put it together, put the bundles, because COVID or no COVID, there are still people who are hungry.
Yeah.
Still people out there that we need to care for.
Yeah. And like you said, it's nice to see that in other areas of business as well. It's good to know, because those are, that's the thing that attracted me to the company that I'm at. Is it is a very family oriented, very small, close knit group, and and everybody knows and cares about each other. It is they're considerate of their customers. The way that they approach things is very conscious of what people are trying to get done, but they're also willing to understand that, you know, business still has to get done. You know, we still have to move because, you know, it's a really weird one. Ever since they moved me into that sales department up there, the mentality is a little bit different because I'm still for the customer, but at the same time, I'm also willing to be the responsible party and talk to our customers as if they were a partner, not just a customer. You know what I mean? Because a lot of that relationship has to do with being willing to just be open and communicate, you know. It's one of the things that we did with Karma in a lot of ways is we've always talked about transparency, letting people see and know what you're doing. And, you know, the videos haven't come out as much, but that's why you can go back through, what is it, Rex, 9 years of video logs that show everything that we did. What was the challenge video? 10 years ago almost?
It's been a long damn time.
Yeah. So
yeah,
but
it's coming up on 9.
Yeah, 9 years, and it's all open. Everybody can see it from day one and how it's grown and what it's been doing, because it's important for people to know what they're getting involved with. In fact, it's almost more important to know why we're doing what we're doing, and that requires transparency more than anything, you know. So
Yeah.
And having people like you willing to speak from the heart and just talk about it and share about it, and people like Ayame, I'm glad that you finally got everything figured out there.
Yeah, I actually started hearing what you guys were saying about 3.5 minutes ago. So you know, I mean, what I heard of that story was very nice.
Well, I'm glad that we've got a little bit of a delay, so don't be angry if the video.
I mean, here's the thing:
but
you've got video this time. You're gonna have to give me You're gonna have to give me a little bit of leniency.
There's tons of leniency on this show. We had some soup, and that's why I'm chugging more water. I burned my tongue real bad on the soup that we had right before we got on, so it's a little bit. I feel almost like lead mouthed, you know, not really working all that well.
You sound great so far. So.
Well, thank you. Let me know if I could have it too much.
Yeah.
So, but it was good soup. Our mom did good, and it was a good time for you to come in because, you know, it's really cool that you have this chance to lean more into that experience side of things, Kevin, because that's one of those avenues that people tend to forget about, is that going through, you know, and we talk about it with Karma, is it's a shared experience with all of us, and we're all included in moving with it. And when you forget that it's an experience, you start to lose some of the humanity in it, and you start to make it robotic. And that's one thing that people aren't, is people are not robots, you know, no matter how much we wish they would be. Sometimes they're
the
really
human
not.
element, right? There's literally something to that human element.
Mm-hmm.
You can't outwork the machines. You can't beat them. You
No.
can't be more of a robot than something that we artificially create. So it's bad move to lean into that. You should lean into the things that make us special and do some cool things, kind of like you know, breaking new ground, finding new frontier and new places to put our talents and the things that make us important into this world right into action. And that's what's cool about, you know, what's going on with you right now, Kevin, with your transition into your work and what we're always doing here at Karma. And, you know, everybody in the world, we've had to start moving and transitioning into some kind of a new and hopefully better world, you know. And that's how come we choose to do stuff with Karma, is because it's not my idea, it's ours. And so that means that I can't screw it up. So, because everybody else will know. They'll be able to go like, hey, now wait a minute, that's bad karma. And I can't, oh, you know. So I think that's a good foundation for business, is to just remember that, you know, that we're human and karma's a real thing. So,
Yeah.
you know, you might be able to build a gigantic legacy off of the backs of others, but eventually people don't like that, and they'll start talking about it, and that legacy turns into, you know, just a infamous record of people not being human with each other. So that's why, you know, I don't know. I haven't slept very well for like the last 2 days. Been working like crazy. So I'm rambling. I'm all over the place. And I just
so hard to
how
tell.
dark it is in this room.
So hard to tell that you were rambling there.
Was it?
Oh, yeah,
That's because I'm good at it.
definitely.
I'm a
as soon
rambler.
as you mentioned the
Let me see
human
if there's a
element.
light switch. Hold on.
Oh, he's playing with lights. It reminds me, and we've got it in a video or something. It's saved in a picture. Hey, Yama, you remember when we had the whiteboard at the apartment and
That's a
we
little
came
better.
up with all of those sayings and ideas, and we were working on the karma mission statement, and it
Yes.
had to do with bringing the human element. We'll have to dig that out.
There
because-
were a bunch of them. If you go back and look at most of the DDKs that take place in your apartment, you can see a lot of them. They're in the upper left-hand corner if you're facing
that was
the
the
board.
one that we settled on. We kind of left that last one there, and then we also had that saying of don't be a dick dude, be a dude is the idea of karma.
Yeah,
you know?
which was a real winner, by the way.
I always thought it was great because hey, if we all just try to not be dicks to each other and be good dudes, why not?
Well,
That's
I mean, that was
Newton's
what.
law. Don't be a dick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that was one thing we were always working on with the mission statement is, we talked a lot about, different ones that mean different things. And it always kind of came back to, like you were saying, the human element of, simplicity, but it's really about people helping people
Yeah.
at the end of the day. And that was always kind of the most powerful. Those were always the most powerful ones that we came up with.
Yeah. But it really was. It was all about bringing the human element in business into the 21st century or something like
It may have been a little flowery. I mean,
Yeah,
we never settled
little?
on one.
A little?
Well,
All I remember
Rex,
about the whole process was me yelling at you guys all the time about how it can't be 2 paragraphs long. That's not a mission
we
statement.
had it
That's a
down to
mission novel.
3 sentences, not even sentences. They were
I wanted it
was-
one.
the problem is
I said it should
Rex,
happen in 1 sentence.
when you get involved, things get really complicated.
Who?
You,
Me? They get
Yeah.
so simple, it's crazy.
when you get involved with stuff like that, suddenly we're on a different plane, and that's
Because-
good. But when you're trying to come up with a mission statement, not so much.
With
Well, I
Rex, it's
remember,
so
I'm like,
simple, it's
what was-
complicated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. See,
No, because a little flowery. A little. Good Lord.
just a touch.
It's like a bouquet of BS all scattered on them.
We were.
I remember I looked it up. I was like, short, sweet. Mwah. And I'm all, what's Disney's thing? Do you remember what Disney's mission statement was?
The original one was making people happy, right?
Making people happy.
And
The
then you go
entire
back-
thing.
You go back and look at the new one now, and it's like
6 pages.
media empire leading the
Global
Oh, yeah.
domination and
Yeah.
absorbing every other company, destroying humanity, that kind of thing.
yeah.
But it worked. So
I mean, did it? I mean, I would say the jury's still out on that.
yeah. But I'm telling you, that's what I remember most was me getting after you yahoos about how flowery
you
could
thought
be.
feed people
Let's
was
end
too
hunger
simple.
by blah, blah, blah.
You thought
know.
feed people was too simple. That was the problem.
He's got no rebuttal for
So,
that.
so
He's-
wait. So we're not talking about feeding people using the human element?
See, it was something. See, it was
One
something
statement.
closer to that. This is what I say. We're gonna have to find it because we might even have to go to a DDK where we can really see it. But it's there.
We'll definitely have to because the board still is covered with still
It's
is
got that
covered with
hamburger diagram
burger
on it.
stuff from the
Yeah.
Karmic that
Well-
one year.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a great video, though.
Well, it was a great video. and
It showed the darker side of Rex as he plans things.
yeah, the side that only we usually see.
The
We'll
side
have to
where Rex
insert
is
that video
gonna throw a
here,
conniption
is
and
what we'll do.
Thanos snap you.
We'll give the reference video here so that people can remember.
I can't remember anything because I'm trying to remember the dang mission statement.
I think we should. You know what? Just don't even put the video in. Put the video link in. and
Which
we'll put it
video?
in we'll put it in the comments. The DDK announcement for that one year where you were like, where it was
It's the Psycho
Rex goes
one.
crazy, the Psycho one. Yeah,
Oh, that video?
we'll put
Yeah.
the link in the description. Go watch it, and then like on it, comment on it, because that's what we need for the channel to grow. So do that instead. We're not going to hand it to you. You've got to take some action here.
Boom. You gotta take some
Yeah, you
action.
got to take some action here.
There we
Is
go.
she
All it
talking to
is
me?
looking up a YouTube video. No,
No,
we're talking to the
the
You
home.
better
people
not
watching.
be talking at me.
Oh my lord.
Jeez Louise.
Are you throwing up your dukes here?
You kidding me? These are-
Colby's not even here. We can't be having coming at you, bro moments. if
Yeah.
Colby's not here.
I could have sworn that,
How about that?
yeah, how, yeah. there
Reach
you go.
outside.
This
How about that?
podcast will not descend into fisticuffs
No.
this early.
Could you, well, yeah, it'd be hard to do through the interwebs. So,
I kind of feel bad because we've got Kevin here and he's telling this incredible story, at
Well,
least the
this
part of
is-
it I heard, and it's very poignant and very related. And as soon as I can talk again, we're just completely off the rails. We're talking about like the whiteboard and
Not at all.
videos and all
We
that
are
stuff.
not even close to off the rails because it all comes back to two things: taking action and bringing the human element back into what we're doing.
Boom.
And it all ties together in the end because that's what we do here at Karma. Is it all comes back around full circle, right? I don't have a good logo here with me though.
Aw.
Oh, so we even got the puppy dogs with us. See, right there, the logo, full circle. It all comes back around.
it's a cute dog.
We definitely need some more
Pretty
karma
good.
branding in the background for sure.
Well, I was just thinking, eventually there's going to be a really big picture, like right in this area. That's
Like the
always
halo
for me.
behind your head.
Hopefully
Yeah.
it's a
Karma.
karma logo, because
No,
again,
it's-
branding would be good.
Like, unfortunately, it doesn't go with the motif. You got the Vader stuff and the Star Wars posters.
There's an awful lot of Star Wars in that office.
There's a lot of stuff. I had to put it somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining.
And you got to
So-
enjoy it too. So
Yeah.
The hard part is I can't even show them the coolest one because, well, maybe I can. Here's hang on.
You think I get sidetracked?
I threw it completely
Look at this
off the
guy.
rails.
Don't
here.
unplug that one. Okay.
See, he's
that'll kill the
unplugging
camera.
now.
See?
Oh gosh. Oh my lord.
Oh
No,
wow.
I gotta open
Wow.
this door so we can see it, but look at this.
He
This is the
doesn't
kind of
realize
work
that I'm sitting here
That
talking.
Ayame does.
Oh,
Look at
look
that.
at
Oh my
that.
gosh.
Wow. That is gorgeous. Whoever framed that was a genius.
I know. It's really cool. And I'm gonna
Now
get
here we
something
go
like
back
that
again.
hanging over that other desk.
Walking through the room.
Yeah.
Anybody seasick?
Just you, Rex.
no, I've got
He
mine
heard
on
me.
whoever's talking, and so every now and then you pull it back to reality, Rex, by just showing your bright shiny face.
Yeah, just sitting this close to the screen,
What?
like some form of caricature.
See, look at
What
that.
I'm noticing is this deep shadow under my chin. It's weird.
Yeah, you get it too. It's that just wave that we get. Mine cuts
It's a wave.
my beard cuts in underneath too.
Yeah.
Happens.
So,
But
but
yeah.
My beard goes like this.
You
it
get
gives a
curl?
swirl.
When it gets longer, it's like curvy that way, and it
I
feels so
kinda wanna see
asymmetrical
that
that
now.
it bothers me. Like that's it. Yeah. I don't know.
I feel like maybe you should grow it out now so we can see, because that
I actually
sounds
have
very
a
entertaining.
challenge to grow out my beard so that when I meet one of my Scottish friends in Dublin when I'm out there next, that I'll have a beard worthy of beer drinking in Dublin.
There you
His
go.
words, not mine.
So wait a minute, like real quick, I heard the tail end of that story. Are you actually going there? Are you like moving there? Are you?
No, so I'm still working out of here in Utah, but the company that I'm going to start working for is actually based out of Dublin.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So I've got support teams in Dublin, Philadelphia, Phoenix, and Sydney. And then I've got a few other people around the US that I'm going to be managing. And so that's going to be fun. But the company itself is still based out of Dublin. We have engineering teams in Belgrade, Serbia. So there's a bit of travel to the job, which I'm not going to complain about. I enjoy that stuff.
I got to tell you, like, as long as I've known you, I've always been really jealous of the fact that you do get to interact with so many people internationally. I mean, it's such a cool thing, like just in general, to meet people from other cultures, especially kind of on their own terms, kind of, because they're obviously in their home countries, or and you get to kind of experience that a little bit. So I've always thought that was really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
It's something we want to do. I mean, so our youngest, in a few years, he'll be old enough, they'll all be old enough. And we would like to actually go over there, even just temporarily, and live overseas and have that experience. I love Ireland. Both my wife and I, we love Ireland. So the funny thing is, they asked that, well, where do you see yourself in 3 years? And I'm like, doing the people leadership role, living out of Ireland. And you're like, and the Irish people are like, what? Really? I'm like, absolutely. They're like, well, why? And I'm like, well, I've had the opportunity.
why?
Yeah, exactly. I've had the opportunity to come and enjoy the experience, and I want to try different things. I mean, I spent my childhood in Saudi Arabia. I have lived chunks of my life outside of the US, and that's actually an eye-opening and mind-expanding opportunity and experience. It just is. And it's stressful at times, but it gives you a different perspective. And it doesn't mean that I don't like the US or that I want to get away from it. It's just I want to experience other cultures, other perspectives on things. And I don't know, there is it's the quote that I love the most, but it's Irish, and so most people won't. It's Erska Achela Awirin Medina, and it means in the shelter of each other the people live. Now, the really simplified British version way of saying that is we live in each other's shadows, but both the British and American version of living in somebody's shadow is not a positive thing, right? It's somebody overshadowing us, being bigger than us, putting us down. But in the Irish, it means that a good society takes care of its people. We shelter each other. And when we stop doing that, we stop being a good society. And for me, that's what I try and bring to my support experience, to my employees. You can be a profitable company that invests in your employees. And usually when you start skimping on taking care of your employees, and I'm not talking about a snack bar or foosball tables or anything else. Those are niceties, but actually making sure that your employees' needs are met and that they're feeling like the work is a place that they can come to and make change and feel good, and then be able to move back in seamlessly in and out and go do things with their family. When they go home, that I'm not picking them up and calling them at all hours of the night. I mean, my phone would ring especially in the last 4 years, my phone would ring, and my wife 9 times out of 10 could tell you who was calling. And it was always work. And it was always after I was done with work. And it was usually a manager of some kind. And from my perspective, one of the things I'm trying to learn is to let people go be themselves. They have a right to that. And so it's like taking care of people is not just being able to teach and guide and lift people up and provide for them, but it's also knowing when to let them be.
Yeah,
It's like,
Definitely.
we talk about that human element, and the reality is that I like that in the shelter of each other, the people live. I like that a lot more than no man is an island, because it focuses on the community's responsibility towards each other, our responsibility. Actually, the reason why we gather as karma people, as agents, is because of the responsibility we feel as a community towards each other. And we participate in the engine that is karma, right? But in that same sense, it's like, when we're
No, you're
participating
good.
in that community, there's this is a little bit of a spin-off, but it's just the same vein. You guys know what Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
Yeah.
You ever
I mean,
heard of
I
that?
do, but they probably don't. So you should explain it for them.
Okay.
Definitely.
Because I know I'm going to
Shelter
get
is
this
one of
wrong.
them.
Rex was
Oh,
literally
yeah,
telling me
it's
just
where
yesterday
you
that
got
he
your
didn't know
basics
what
are
that
like,
was.
you need to
So,
be
so,
food,
yeah,
shelter, but it's
physiological needs, safety,
Hmm.
love and belonging, self-esteem, self-actualization. The end goal is to becoming self-actualized. And there's a lot of information coming out now that, and I am not saying this to bag on Maslow, because you find out later that what he started out with these basic set of, and the basic is, here's the foundation for what we need to survive as human beings.
Yeah.
We need food, we need shelter, we need safety, we need to feel loved and belong to, we need a sense of self-esteem. And when we have all these things, we can self-actualize, we can determine our course, our destiny. But what we found out, what we've realized is that Maslow actually spent a lot of time before he published the hierarchy of needs. He spent a lot of time with the Blackfoot Indian tribes and a few others, and they actually have a similar system. They actually have these hierarchy of needs.
Hmm.
But what's interesting is that when Maslow first published it, you could actually take the Maslow hierarchy of needs, flip it upside down, and that was the Blackfoot hierarchy of needs. And the whole reason that this is important to the conversation here is that Maslow's hierarchy of needs focuses on the individual, on an individual human being. And it focuses from a very Eurocentric perspective of a man and destiny, his manifest destiny, and you know, what do I need to be self-actualized, to be self-dependent, and etc. But from the Blackfoot perspective, you are born self-actualized. It's the I am. You come out, and as a member of the community, you are. There is not anything you need to provide the community to be of value to the community. It was only when somebody did something that put the community at risk that somebody would get exiled from the community, because the community was more important. The community had the belief of self-actualization for all individuals. So all they needed to do, the importance was, you were self-actualized. What do you need to do now? With your own self-actualization, go out and do things, provide for the community, be weaving, be leadership, be hunter, be any of these different things.
Administration.
But you were of value to the community. And at times where you were unable to do that, you were still a member of the community, therefore your life had value. Your life had meaning. They didn't have concepts as such for individual poverty and starvation, because it wasn't, that guy over there didn't do his job, so he didn't earn enough money to buy dinner for the night. Everybody ate. Everybody worked, everybody ate. And if somebody couldn't do it or somebody didn't do it, the community was responsible for getting somebody back on track or helping them be healed. It was in the shelter of each other, the people live. And it was interesting. So there's a lot of people who initially their knee-jerk reaction is Maslow went and distorted the Blackfoot hierarchy of needs to kind of give it this Eurocentric spin. And later on in life, you find that Maslow very much he was trying to give a perspective on why the Eurocentric view was what it was. And I get it, because there is very much, you know, the great British explorers who go out and, you know, that you had to be self-sustaining, and how did you become that way? But to a large extent, it was the society that did that. And they were explorers, whereas you took the Blackfoot Indian and many of the other tribes, while they moved around a lot, they still saw themselves as members of the tribe that they were. They weren't just, I am Shoshone Indian, I am Sioux, I am Paiute. It wasn't like my name is Kevin Steele, I am a member of this tribe. It was, this is who I am a member of this tribe. Like you as an individual weren't of consequence. And it was the tribe, it was that organization and group of people that was a consequence, because without them, things fell apart. And it was just so, and I'm sorry, because Rex, hey, guess what? Who's rambling now?
Yeah. Oh,
The
it's
whole
all
point
good.
is,
Yeah, I thought it was very
Yeah,
interesting.
no, this is very interesting.
the whole point is, you know, there are times where we go and we need to be self-sustained, self-actualized. But the beauty that I love about that Gaelic perspective and the Blackfoot perspective was that the community, that you didn't need permission to be self-actualized. You were yourself from the moment you entered this world. And as long as the group recognizes the value of every human life and that actualization in and of itself, you don't need to tell somebody, well, you need all these things and then you'll be worth something. Then you can contribute. You contribute by just being here. And that is what I think, from my perspective, is that's one of the great things that we do here at Karmic. We've met some of the people who eat the food that we gather and that we provide, that we purchase, that we provide. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of people we'll never see. But to us, I don't need to know them, and they don't need to have provided something back to me. They don't even need to have provided something back to the community as a whole, because if we don't have, and this is where I think Maslow did get something right. If we don't have these basic necessities, love, shelter, food, people helping, you know, making sure that we have a healthy sense of self-esteem as well, then it's really hard to put things in. If you don't have a home, like the amount of stress that puts on people, homeless people, is immense. Something that Salt Lake City has done for a long time, and with varying degrees of success, but something I really was impressed with was they found it was better for the costs of the city to provide housing for homeless people. They built housing, they provided services to not only get these people in housing, their health improved, they were able to maintain work, so they created services to help find them. And they found overall per person, it was cheaper to house the people and get them work and provide sustenance for them than it was to have them out on the streets homeless. And all the other the services we provide really penalize and continue the cycle of homelessness until you actually provide Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the items in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, allowing them to be self-actualized, which in and of itself is the self-fulfilling prophecy of the Blackfoot's approach to things. When community takes care of its people, the people can thrive and they give back to the community. In the shelter of each other, the people live.
That's a very astute observation, man. And it's because it's the thing that is, it's karma. You know, it really is. It's a community of people taking action and looking out for each other, because when those things are alleviated, it does change the dynamic of every other situation that follows it. You know, when people know that they're guaranteed a warm meal every day, it changes the stresses and the things that go through their heads so that they can make different decisions and enact better solutions going forward. And that's the whole idea. You know, it's a combination of not only teaching the man to fish, but giving him a fish while you're teaching him.
Yeah.
You know, because he can't fish on an empty stomach, right? So
That's beautiful, Jake. I think I wish people realize that it's like, well, I'm not going to give them something if I can teach them to earn it. And it's like, well, we can do both, and we can afford
there's
to
a
do
way
both.
to work together through all these things, and it's through a little bit of understanding that we're in this together. You know, no matter how you want to put it, whatever analogy you want to put with it, you know, no man is an island, or however, in the end, we're all here together, even though we might have to act individually, because that's the only way that we can act is individually. You know, it's a very unique.
Well, it's kind of
perspective.
interesting because and maybe I'm wrong about this, because I'm certainly not as well versed in this kind of thing as you guys are, but like karma almost embodies both sides of that idea, because on the one end,
That's
that's
what I was going to say, is that
you have people who
they're
are
middle out.
are
That's how you go.
themselves.
Middle out.
Yeah, and they have worth because they are themselves, and karma provides to them. The community of karma provides to those people who have worth just because they're people. But on the other end, you have karma providing
To the individual.
the means to these individuals to achieve self-actualization, so that they can then
Better the community.
karma in their own way. I mean, you talk about,
It's an
we talk
investment.
about it all the time.
If you guys want to hear it from the dirty businessman perspective, which I always like to do, is that you're not giving anything to anybody. You're investing in humanity, because the first person, the team that we're on is human. We're team human. And for our consciousness to move forward and grow, you know, you have to pay attention to both the fronts and the backs. You have to pay attention to both the individual and the community, because they are not separable. They come together.
An investment in the human element.
And so it's an investment in a human, because yes, I'm going to invest to make their life and their situation better, because when it gets down to it, through my action, the karma dictates that it'll make my situation better. Just like you were talking about as a CEO or an employer, you know, worrying about, if I make sure their bills are paid, mine will be paid no matter what. You know, it's a different way of Ayami, you nailed it right on the head. It's the center. It's the Blackfoot and the Western idea mixed, and then go from the inside out.
Yeah.
Because that's our reality.
Well,
Is a group, like a collective
self-actualization on both sides of the dynamic. Like you have it inherently, but through the process of karma, no matter where you fall on that scale, it grow.
Starts moving you in the direction
you achieve a new level on the outside of it.
Yeah. It's one thing that we don't get too heavy into in this business, because like we say, these are deep, hard thoughts and very in depth, but that's how come, you know, from the get-go, I always wanted to say, if all you want to do is help people in this business, great, I'll make you a millionaire for doing it. If all you want to do is make $1 million, you're going to have to feed so many damn people that there's no way they won't be able to say you didn't earn it. So it's no matter which perspective of either side you want to come from, we can't get past the fact that we're human. And so, like we've all been saying since the beginning of this whole conversation, which is great, is that's what we need to lean on. You know, that's the element that is rare in this universe, is the element of where matter taking up a certain space and time in the continuum, caring about another piece of matter in the same space-time continuum, almost as much as they care about themselves. That's weird. That doesn't happen, but it does with human beings. And so it's like, well, hell, we should invest in that, because that's if anything rare. It's neat, it's interesting, and who knows what it can take us. But
well, from the little bit that we've seen, it's apparently done incredible things, because we're here having this conversation. So why not crank that baby up to 11 and let's see what we can really do with it. You know,
that's why I say it's not my idea, it's ours. Is that, like we're saying, that these principles, it doesn't matter where you go. If you find people, you'll find this little subtle belief that they have, that, you know, you need to be good to each other because that makes the world better. And that's, you know, and so heck, that's where we're going to start. That's where we're going to finish. That's how we're going to, you know, change the world. Because just like a self-actualized human, the world doesn't need saving. It needs changing. You know, it's here, and it can't, a broken tool can't fix itself. So for us to think that we need to fix this broken tool called the world is like, you know, that's way above our pay grade, let alone itself. We need to let its nature work itself out, and then do what we do best, which is eat food and hang out and talk about weird stuff like this.
Dude,
and so we combine them at Karma.
Kevin, thanks for the link, man. Because we'll be sure to throw that in the description as well. That'll be a good thing to share out, because it's a very interesting take on it and how it all moves. Because
I figured like it's based off of some great insights. And I figured it was worth sharing the link so people can get an idea.
Oh yeah,
when they get in there and they're like, what are they even talking about? Okay, here's a reference. Let me anchor you in something.
Yeah.
Because
if you showed up 20 minutes late, like some of us did, the link is very helpful.
Better late than never. So
I'm just glad you made it.
You know, that's one thing that I love about what we do in Karma, is that when people they start digging in and they start trying to work out what we're doing, they find all these weird similarities to, you know, old philosophies, and that's because, you know, all I am is what you guys are. You know, I'm a manifestation trying to figure out what the hell's happening, and I'm trying to make ways in this world to make it comfortable and help do what I think is best. And so we're just sharing that and talking about it. And yeah, I don't know, that it's just it's special because it's all of that. Like when we say this is karma, it's no joke. We just tried to put it towards business form and say, okay, what's something in this planet or in this universe, in this entire existence, that's generating movement and energy and power? And that's human beings, definitely. And so what's, you know, I definitely don't want to force, because that's what nature doesn't do. So you need to inspire it. You know, when people get inspired, they can create and make and build amazing things. So if we inspire that, this is where I know it had something to do with this on our back to the mission statement. It's inspiring the human element. It's inspired. Remember, it has something. It was like
that sounds
changing
right.
capitalism through inspiring the human element. I think it was something like that.
That sounds pretty close.
Yeah. So and just right there, that's a tall order. Inspiring or changing capitalism by inspiring the human element. You know, it's a tall order to do, but it's what we need to do. It's a way to make the idea, the man-made idea of money, which is capitalism, work for us and start feeding people and taking care of each other, instead of buying jets for buttholes to fly across the world in the middle of the night, you know. But if that's what they want to do, I guess whatever. But come on, guys, put $50 towards feeding people. Don't be a dink. Don't be a dick, dude. Be a dude.
That's right.
So
maybe that should be the mission statement, because you guys sure like pulling that one out.
Well, it just hits you.
It's such a zinger. It gets right to it, you know.
Didn't you steal that from something?
No, that came right off the top of this see this bald spot that's growing right here on my dome? It popped.
That's
right
where
out
it
there.
fell
I was,
off.
I was gonna say
It's-
dickhead.
As soon as that was where the idea fell out, and the hair
This,
just
this
never
hair fell
came
out. Also,
back.
like,
Yeah. So, but no, I'm blown away by you guys. You know, like I'm saying, the general conversation that we have on karmic transmissions, people think it's just us joking and laughing and having fun, which that's a big majority of it.
Sometimes it is.
But
Yeah.
that's as human as anything else. But we're surrounded by people that are thinking about just incredible things to such a deep personal level, and then trying to apply them not just personally but socially. And it blows me away, because this is how come it had to be a business and we had to start it, is because if I could have these feelings and thoughts, and I'm just a reflection of everyone around me, they need an opportunity too to express these thoughts and feelings, because the more it happens, it brings tears to my eyes. It's what we all want to be. It's that self, it's, you know,
that self-actualization that we talked about.
well, it's so hard to find on a personal level, but on a social level, it's damn near impossible. But people here at Karma, that seems to be our goal, and the thing that brings us together and gives us purpose as individuals to try to make the community better. And what more could you ask for? So
I did throw in one last thing, so that
I've
wanna
got all
know
those tagged. I've got all those tagged.
when I speak Gaelic, which I had to learn how to say that. I don't natively speak Irish, the Irish language. But that is a really, really good article, on the approach and everything from the Sisters of Our Lady of Missions.
Awesome.
heck,
And you nailed it, Rex, because it's the truth, man. That's the way that it needs to be. Like you said, coming together and working as a community. It's
Yeah.
a hard thing to find people that want to do it, and we're lucky enough to have created a community of people that seems to be their goal. You know, it's truly a blessing to have as many interesting individuals as you guys right here, and everybody else that joins in with us to keep doing that, because it's unique. You know, it's a very unique thing to see. But I'm a firm believer that it's self-perpetuating, that the more people can do it and get involved in it and feel it, the more they want to be a part of it, because it speaks to them on that heartbeat level. You know, it's
Well,
that thing that unifies all.
And it
So,
certainly helps, I think, when you can start seeing the goodness in other people. I mean, that's something I've been discussing with some other people I know recently. Is, it's real easy. I mean, not even just now, but in general, to see people doing bad things. And the karma community it's very nice to be able to get together with people when we can, and in this fashion too, and be able to see people doing positive things and be a part of that.
Mhm.
And that's that helps make it grow right there, because if everybody wants to be part of something positive, right?
I hope
I like to
so.
think so. So, but
If
guys,
they don't, I really screwed up on this one.
this has been a great transmission. We're kind of
was.
hitting the end though. We've hit 8 o'clock, and there's so many good key things. I hate to see it, to risk it and see if we outpace ourselves.
We'll just have to have Kevin back.
We will.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to have more steals on. So
Good.
Golden gems of opportunity to learn.
Gaelic
Well,
and Blackfoot
yeah.
wisdom thrown at us all over the place. So
Just means that good information and good ideas don't originate in only one place.
Bingo.
exactly.
It's our idea. It's the human. It's the thing that makes us special. So,
Mhm.
except
Well,
for
guys.
Ayame, you're just special because I love you, Ayame.
Well,
You
I
don't
love
need
all of
anything
you
else,
guys.
Liz.
You're
What
all
can I
special to
say?
me.
Yeah.
Mind you, none of you rode the special bus to school with me, but you're all special to me.
Aw.
rode with me, he says.
Yeah, with me.
Yeah, he drove the bus.
I thought you drove the bus.
Yeah.
I remember you
He's like,
driving me to school quite a bit.
Can't it be good enough that I was riding it? Do I really have to be the driver?
You were both driver and passenger.
Oh,
look at that.
now we're getting
Now
real
he's talking
metaphysical.
self-actualization.
Yeah. So
You are both the
guys,
bus and the driver.
It's been amazing. It's been a great karmic transmission.
Been
Kevin,
fun.
thank you so much for jumping on. For everybody watching at home, thank you so much for joining us. As always, we have a wonderful time with the karmic transmission. You can find us at karmaincarnate.com. You can check us out on our Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, social medias, all that jive. Instagram, I've been told. Somebody said that we've got Instagram.
We do have an Instagram.
See,
Interact with it. Interact with the videos. Click on the links. Ring the bell. Because that's
Smash the
how
subscribe button.
Smash the subscribe
I
button.
hear
I
him
always
say that
thought I
on
was never
YouTubes
going to
all the
say
time.
that.
There we
But
go.
seriously, do those things, because if you do, then more people
that's
see the
how
video.
the idea spreads.
Yeah, that's how you spread the video, and you don't have to do much.
Yeah.
But just do that.
We're slaves to the algorithm, just like everybody else.
It's the Matrix.
Oh no.
You got to beat the machine somehow. We'll outlove them.
Bingo. We'll outlove them. We'll
Yeah,
out-humanize
that sounds
them.
so wrong. Okay, Jakey, see ya.
All
Love you
right,
guys.
Lavelle,
Yes.
See ya.
See ya.